Hello, everybody, and welcome. Today we have a special event. We are actually bringing back one of our interns, Sathvika, to share a little bit about the day in the life of a BNSF intern. So we figured, how is it better to learn from somebody who's actually experienced an internship with us? So, Sathvika, just a moment, I'm going to have you introduce yourself. Before we do that, I do want to remind everybody that our summer 2021 internship program is going to be a 10-week program, and it's open to junior level students. We are looking for students that are open to learning more about our business, learning more about logistics and supply chain. They're open to networking, they're self motivated, they're driven, and those are the students that are going to be successful and that are going to thrive in this 10-week program. If this sounds like something that you are interested in, and if you want to do real work on real business cases and things that are truly impacting our business right now, please sign up. Send in your application. You can do that at www.bnsflogistics.com/careers. You can also apply for the internship program on Handshake, so it'll take you right to that careers page. But without further ado, we are going to have our guest of the hour go ahead and introduce herself. So, Sathvika, can you share a little bit about yourself? Tell us um, your role in the 2020 internship program, your job and title and major, and then the favorite part about BNSF, and your most memorable moment in the program.
Yeah, definitely. I'm Sathvika. I was a 2020 intern this summer at BNSF Logistics. I was in the international department, so I was the international logistics intern. I am a supply chain management, business analytics, and a business law and ethics major at the Kelley School of Business at Indiana University. My favorite part of BNSF Logistics, and I tell everybody this who asks me about my experience, was the people. I absolutely love everybody who I got to work with and who I got to meet, and it's a big part of why I'm going back for full time when I graduate in May. There are a lot of memorable parts of the program, but what I think really made the program touching, I guess, was was the gift box that you guys sent me right before the internship started. I know a lot of us, when we had to go into quarantine, were feeling really pessimistic about the future, and I was one of those people for sure. And Briana actually sent us all this box full of like candy and socks and just like cute little things that made me feel like BNSF cares. And while there were a lot of things that we did during the internship that are memorable, that was definitely something that set us off on the right foot.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Sathvika. So I will go ahead and introduce myself as well. So my name is Briana Medley. I am the Intern Program Manager. So for the summer, I will be managing the internship program. And so that is my title in the summer. My day job is learning and development and change management at BNSF as well. My favorite part about BNSF Logistics so far has been the opportunity to explore new things. So, this internship program was something that I got to do because I said I was interested in it. And they really just kind of open up doors for you to be able to try different things that you may be interested in and help to round out your career. So, that's been the best part for me. And the most memorable part of the internship program for me was the Iron Chef Pizza Bake Off competition that we did for National Intern Day. It was so fun to kind of get everybody together in their home environment. We got to see parents and pets and siblings, and it was just really fun to be able to connect with all of the interns in that way to celebrate them. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and get us started. We have several questions prepared today. And as always, if you have any additional questions, you can always email us at bnsflogisticscareers.com. So, you can always email that inbox. You can also reach out to us on LinkedIn if you have any additional questions too. So our first question is for Sathvika. Why did you decide to accept an internship with BNSF Logistics?
Yeah, so well, I'm a supply chain management major, and for any of you who are interested in supply chain, you will soon find out, if you haven't already, that it is like a vast field. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, so I was looking into everything. I think at the time that I accepted my internship, I was working on a case that was related to BNSF Rail, which is a lot different from BNSF Logistics, but I didn't know it at the time. Um, but that did, motivate me to apply. But the reason I decided to accept an internship was because I got along, or at least I felt like I really connected with the recruiter who I was talking to, Rhonda, and also the vice president who would like oversee my project that I was working on. So I had two really great conversations, and that's what motivated me to accept the internship for the fall, for the summer.
Excellent. Thank you, Sathvika. All right. So, our next question for you is what projects did you work on during your internship? And if you can kind of share a little bit of the nitty gritty details a little bit in the projects that you worked on, because I know so many times people are like, oh, I'm an intern, I'm going to go get coffee. So, what projects did you work on while you were at BNSF?
Yeah, so I had two big projects. One was the group project, and one is the individual project. Um, the group project was to gain feedback about the software that BNSF Logistics was implementing throughout their system, Quest, and we had to um, analyze if everybody's needs were being met through Quest. So for that project, what I did specifically is I had to find out um, information. I had to analyze our client information to figure out which of those clients who we have put on the back burner we should be pursuing more. And then I made recommendations based on based on one, which clients could see the most profit, and two, on how COVID is impacting those businesses. So businesses that are least impacted by COVID and on our back burner and have transported with us, or the businesses that I ended up recommending for us to pursue. So that was my work on the group project. The individual project was my favorite part of, it's definitely my favorite of the two projects. I got to analyze the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and the US-China tariff war on the domestic and international logistics industries. And I had to make a presentation. So what I did was I sort of incorporated a little structure into my project, and I decided to go an extra step, write a research paper with all the information, and then I just presented that instead. So yeah, that's a little bit about the two projects that I worked on.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next question that we have is how did the virtual part of the program play out? Was it hard to get connected to others or to do meaningful work? So I'll let you answer that one first and then I will answer.
Yeah. So a little bit of backstory, I guess, before I get into the answer part. Like I said earlier, I was really pessimistic about everything being online. As I'm sure most interns feel, like the internship is your opportunity to stand out and make a good impression, especially when you're a junior and you want to get that full-time offer in the fall for the next year. So I was worried that I wouldn't be able to make that happen. However, everyone who managed us interns, so that would be like Briana and Maggie and Rhonda, they were really, really great about helping us get connected. Um, it wasn't, I mean, because of their efforts, it wasn't hard to get connected to other people. Everyone at BNSF Logistics is more than willing to help you out with everything. And I even think that to some extent, people want to talk to you more and have a little bit more room to talk to you over like a virtual environment, um, because you can like easily schedule things with them. And so yeah, it wasn't hard to get connected to other people, but it was a little different. You do have to like reach out and do your own due diligence a little bit more than if you weren't virtual.
Excellent. Okay, so for me, the virtual part of the program, we had to shift gears about 6 weeks before our program started. And so we still wanted to build an overall experience for our interns. And so we even named it the virtual internship experience. And so for us, we were really trying to be intentional about making sure that the interns did feel connected to our organization. So whether it was doing virtual office visits or it was connecting them with leaders within our organization, it was really important for them to have that opportunity to be connected to senior leaders and still have that point of connection within the organization. For the meaningful work, we actually reached out to their business leaders and made sure that they did have projects that were going to be meaningful. And so it was really important to us, too, that people were truly doing real work within the organization to make sure that it was going to make an impact. So if our interns didn't do their projects, no one else in the business was going to do them. So we really were intentional about selecting projects that were very meaningful. All right. So, kind of with that, how do we decide what interns will work on? I don't personally decide on that. We send it back out to the business. So, the leaders of the business unit that has an intern, they will actually decide on what their project is going to be. We wait until about a couple of weeks before the interns start before we finalize the project scope. We reach out, we say, hey, do you want to intern? That's kind of the first step. Once they say that they do, we say, okay, here are some of the parameters and the guidelines of what an internship should look like, an internship project. And we do also do a lot of benchmarking by reaching out to schools and asking them what they are looking for their interns to experience in their internship as well. So we try to hit all of those different things in the project scope. Sometimes we have to narrow them down a little bit so that the interns can accomplish the task within 10 weeks. But the people from the business design the projects and make sure that they are embedded into their area of the business. All right. So the next one is for Sathvika. What exposure did you have to leaders within the company?
So, in a word, a lot. I think every week we had an opportunity to have a lunch and learn session, or we had a coffee chat where we talked to leaders of every department, and also like the president and the CEO, COO. We not only had exposure to them, but we also had access if we ever needed to, and I did. I took advantage of this. We would be allowed to like email them and like talk to them, get some career advice, or just learn more about what they do, what projects they're working on. I know specifically with me, I really connected with Nancy, who's the COO, and I've talked to her more than a couple of times throughout the course of the internship. So we had a lot of exposure to leadership within the company.
Excellent. All right. So, with that, what software or tools did you use? And did you receive any training on how to use those tools?
Yeah, so I'm sure this would have been different if it was an in-person internship, but I really think BNSF Logistics did a really good job of showing us how the softwares work through a virtual sort of space. I think if we had been in person, we might have actually gotten to do some work with it, but nonetheless, we did receive training on how to use some of the softwares related to our job function. So I was in the international department, so I learned how to use Panjiva, which is a market research tool, and also CargoWise, which is the software that BNSF Logistics uses to manage import and export transportation. So I did receive the training on how to use them, but I didn't use them as much as I think I might have if the internship had been in person instead. But I still feel like everyone did like a really good job of like teaching it to us because if I had to use it tomorrow, I'd probably be able to like figure my way out around it.
Excellent. And then who actually taught you how to use those two systems?
Definitely. So, I remember for cargo wise, I had the whole traffic department teach me how to use their piece. So every other day, I'd have someone who would teach me how to use like this particular kind of import needs to be done like this on cargo wise, and exports are done like this on cargo wise. So I had a couple of people teach me how to use cargo wise, and Panjiva actually, the vice president of sales taught me how to use it. So going back to that exposure to leadership thing, you not only have exposure, you also have access. And just like everybody else in the company, they are so willing to help you learn. And Mark Yonker actually gave me access to the tool so I could like use it for my research for my project, which was really helpful.
Awesome. Okay. So the next one is, what advice would you give to students wanting to apply to the 2021 internship program?
Do it. Yeah, like apply. When I when I applied to BNSF Logistics, I kind of knew what they were doing. They were a 3PL company, but I had no idea about how international logistics worked. But they're going to teach you, and it's a really great learning opportunity. So if you're scared about not knowing something, you should still apply because like once you get in, they will literally teach you from ground up so that you understand everything that you need to know. And overall, it was just like a really great experience. Like if I hadn't worked with BNSF Logistics, I might not like logistics as much as I do now. I thought it was a really great opportunity for me to sort of solidify where I'm going or where I would like to work in the future.
Excellent. Yeah, and I would say my advice for anyone who is applying to the internship program, apply and then follow up. You would be surprised. We've gotten hundreds of applicants over the last couple of weeks, and I can count on two hands the number of students that have sent me an email like, hey, just wanted to let you know I applied for the internship program, really looking forward to it. It really doesn't take a lot to follow up, but if you do it, you stand out. So those students I already have at the top of my mind, like, okay, I need to get back to that person because they need to get an interview because I want to move them forward. So that's one piece of advice that I would say is really follow up. And then two, make sure that you're really answering your questions clearly and you're sharing your specific results. So look into the STAR method for answering interview questions because so many times people answer the questions, but they only skim the surface. They never get to the results. So the more that you can quantify your results, the more that you can speak to them, the better it's going to be for you. All right. So, with that, those are all of the questions that we had. We just wanted to have Sathvika kind of share a little bit about her experience. But we wanted to thank you all for your time. Again, we are on all social media platforms, so you can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. And again, if you have any additional questions, you can email us at careers@bnsflogistics.com. We also would encourage you to apply to the internship program. If you are an underclassman and you aren't quite at that junior level, apply anyway. Maybe there could be an opportunity and a space for you. We are looking for standout underclassmen, and sometimes there are some that really do impress us. And so, again, look out for us, bnsflogistics.com/careers. So thank you all so much for your time, and we will talk to you soon.